Looks like the start of a big storm.
Dad, I left your breakfast on the table, and I made your favorite cranberry oatmeal cookies. Every day you remind me so much of your mother. And you remind me why Mom used to complain so much. You're always skipping out on your meals. Don't forget to eat, okay, Dad? I'm heading to the restaurant.
All right, sweetheart.
Eva and her father, Harold, owned this vineyard in a small town in Kansas. Where they run a small winery and restaurant. After Eva's mother passed away, her father had been running the business on his own. But for the past couple years, Eva had been helping out and now handled the restaurant all by herself. Their small town was a tourist spot, and during the peak seasons, the restaurant would be busy. However, the rest of the year, it would be just a few locals who stopped by for a beer or some supper. On her way to the restaurant, Eva scanned the vineyards to pick a fresh batch of grapes. A rattlesnake. Eva stepped back, letting out a sigh, when she noticed the snake curled up on the vine. Phew, close one. Oh no, the rain, gotta run. Every morning at 8, Eva opened the restaurant. But today, as she looked out into the heavy rain, she knew it was going to be slow. Nonetheless, she always looked forward to 3 p.m., when Ronald would stop by during his break. It had been about 2 years since they had been together, and Eva was hoping maybe soon he might even propose to her. The morning went by cleaning up and cooking the day's menu. And right around 3, excitedly looked up, hearing the doorbell jingle, but sighed, seeing some men walk in. Hey, sugar, why don't you get us a drink and some chicken wings? Hope the food is just as fine as you are, gorgeous. Eva ignored the taunts and went into the kitchen to make the order. It was often she had to deal with men like them. Take a knife? Right. Eva brought out the order and placed it on the table. Your order. Come here, baby. You only serve food here, or are you gonna put on a show for us? How about you give us some special service for a special tip? Sugar. Noticing the men checking her out, Eva was getting fed up. But just then, she heard a voice behind her. Eva. She turned to see Ronald and smiled. You're a little late today? She said, rushing to get him napkins. Steak and potatoes, just the way you like it. Ronald pushed the plate aside and placed an envelope on the counter. What's this? Check it out. Eva curiously opened the letter. You got the job in the city? You're leaving? Eva, I want you to come with me. This is a big opportunity. We can finally start a new life together. We'll get a small place at first and... As Ronald spoke, he noticed Eva staring the other way, as if lost in her thoughts. Eva, hello? Eva turned to him a little startled. Ronald. So, what do you say? You know I can't do that. For what? For that old man? Do you want to rot here for the rest of your life? Come on, Eva. Eva, what are you looking at? He's my father. Eva, I'm tired of making you understand. Do you know how big this is for me? I'm the only family he has. I can't leave him alone. And what about me? What about us? I'm sorry. The look on Ronald's face suddenly darkened. So it's a no? Maybe we can work something out. No, Eva. If you're not gonna stand by me, it's never gonna work. I should have known. There's no point of this. What do you mean? I'm leaving this week, and if you're not coming, then this is goodbye. Eva was speechless in shock. She felt so shattered as Ronald got up and simply left. All this time, she had thought he loved her. She dreamed of a future together, but today she realized there were things he loved more than her. He had bigger goals, and now she was just a simple small-town girl that didn't fit in. Eva wiped her teary eyes as she tried to gather her composure. She didn't want to appear vulnerable, but as she peered a glance around the restaurant, she saw all but one of the men had left. A smirk crept up his lips as if he enjoyed seeing her like that. Eva felt so embarrassed. Don't worry, sugar. You don't need a punk like him. A beautiful woman like you can get all the men she wants. Eva ignored him and continued to work. But the man got up and sat down at the counter. Come on, come here, sugar. Is there anything else you would like to order? How about another drink and a couple minutes with you? Eva poured out another mug and brought it to him, but the minute she placed it on the counter, the man suddenly gripped onto her hand. Get your hands off of me. You're beautiful, just like the people say. He chuckled as he suddenly let her go. Eva stumbled back, shocked by how aggressive he was. Looks like it's just you and me today. Don't worry, I'll go easy on you. Eva anxiously watched as the man got up and walked around the counter. Realizing he had no good intentions, she immediately ran to the phone and dialed for help as she told him. If you don't leave right now, I'm gonna call the cops. But the man laughed psychotically as he pulled out a knife and slashed the phone wire right out of her hands. And now what are you going to do? Eva's heart raced as the man climbed over the counter. She knew she had to act quick. Eva took out the rifle she kept hidden beneath and pointed it directly at him. Get away from me or I'll shoot. The man suddenly lifted up his hands with a look of fright. No, please don't shoot, he mocked before he swiftly wrenched the rifle from Eva. Eva tried to pull and kick him, but he pushed her back, laughing. Come on, sugar. I could show you a fun time. Get away from me. Eva began throwing anything and everything that she had near her. But the man only chuckled as he walked towards her. But the minute he was to grab hold of her dress, all of a sudden, the lights began to flicker. The doors and windows flung open in the wind as the rain began pouring heavily outside, splattering into the restaurant. Gusts of wind rushed in, pushing aside the tables and chairs as the man gripped onto the counter. What is happening? Leave my daughter alone. Your daughter? The weather has been so strange today. Turned around, shocked to see his daughter Drops of blood splattered on her face and clothes as she pushed in the trolley, carrying a lifeless body. Eva, how did this happen? Almost 20 years ago, Harold had inherited this vineyard from his family. Back in those days, this small town was secluded. There were not many people here, and it was a peaceful, respectful community. Harold met Grace. They fell in love, got married, and started a new life together. They took care of the vineyards and tended to the farm. And after their daughter was born, life was so complete and full of happiness. However, as the town later became open to commercialism and tourism, all kinds of folk began settling here, some good people, and some very wrong people. And in all this, everything changed that dreadful day. Harold wanted to find Grace's lifeless body. Some goons had entered and taken advantage of her before taking her life. Harold was devastated. He tried going to the police. He tried finding his wife's perpetrators, but they had gotten away. Harold fell into a deep depression, but looking at his daughter, he held strong to raise her. Eva was only 8 at the time. There was little she understood as to what really happened. But her mother's demise had changed her life in a very different way. There was something about Eva that no one knew. Even after her mother's death, Eva saw her mother everywhere. Dad, it's Mom. I can see Mom. I can see Mom. Sweetheart, you must have had a dream. No, Dad, she's here. I can see her. Harold was heartbroken seeing his daughter in that condition. Eva suffered from a high fever for days on end. Doctor, she keeps telling me she sees her mother. How do I tell her she's no more? It's just the fever talking. It'll take time for her to overcome the trauma. I've prescribed some medicine. Try to make sure she rests. Despite the visits to the doctor, Eva's condition only worsened. She tried to tell her father what she saw, but no one believed her. And as she grew up, the doctors put it off as her imagination or hallucinations and nothing more. But Eva knew her mother's spirit was with her, and soon she learned to embrace her new presence. Eva was never alone. Her mother's spirit was always with her, always guiding her in each and every way. Not the raisin, sweetheart. Your father likes cranberries. I made your favorite cranberry oatmeal cookies. It was her mother's spirit who cared for her. Sweetheart, be careful, there's a rattlesnake. A rattlesnake? It was her mother's spirit who advised her for the best. Hope the food is just as fine as you are, gorgeous. Eva, always stay prepared. Take the knife. Take a knife, right? And it was her mother's spirit that never allowed her to leave her father's side. Eva, I want you to come with me. We can finally start a new life together. Eva, what are you thinking? You can't leave your father. He doesn't have anyone but you. Eva, hello? You know I can't do that. For what? That old man? Eva, how can you be with someone who disrespects your father like that? Your father raised you single-handedly. He never got married for you. He sacrificed everything for your sake. Eva, you can't do this to your father. Eva, what are you looking at? He's my father. I'm the only family he has. I can't leave him. And it was her mother who protected her. What is happening? Leave my daughter alone. Your daughter? Eva stared at her father in fear and shock. She trembled as she stared at the blood that soaked her hands. Eva, speak to me. How did this happen? It was Mom.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.
Helena, go from here. Get out.
No, I'm not gonna leave you.
Helena, go. After a fire burned down their family home years ago, Helena Granger moved to the small town of Lake City in Pennsylvania with her daughter Bella. Bella grew up with her single mother. She had never met her father as he passed away that horrible night. She had heard many stories about him from her mother, but she could never really imagine how he was, as the fire had burnt down all their memories as well. The only picture Bella had ever seen of him was the one in her mother's purse. After his death, her mother didn't keep in touch with any of her relatives, and the only family Bella has ever known was her. But Bella never felt like she was missing anything in her life, because her mother was everything for her. Mom, I think I'm old enough to go out with my friends by myself. Where are you going, and what are you going to be doing? Just gonna be watching the new Wayne the Huntsman movie? Why not a book club or a cooking class, out of all the places you need to go to the movie theater? Mom, that's boring! Do you know creeps stay in movie theaters to hunt for their prey? Mom, you always exaggerate everything. I'll be fine. Call me every hour. What? I'll be in the theater. How can I call you? Alright, then text me. People are gonna start creating a scene because of the light of my phone. I don't want to hear it, Bella. I want updates. Now, did you take your pepper spray? Yes, Mom. Your pocket knife? Yes, but Mom, I did forget something. What? $20? What if I get robbed and need to come home? and the thief isn't going to take your 20? Mom, come on. Keep it in your sock and use it for emergencies only, and be back home before 6. Love you, Mom. Bye. Yes, her mom was a bit overprotective, but then again, which single parent wasn't? Lake City was a small town. Not a lot of people lived here. But during the peak seasons, tourists came to town as it was right by the Lake Erie. And by tourists, her mom would define synonymously with creeps. Almost everyone she didn't know was a creep. But the good part of having an overly protective mother was that Bella got to take a little advantage of her. So it was a win-win. Bella was a senior in high school. She had a small group of friends and was a happy-go-lucky teen. She headed out around 3 and met up with her friend Jess at the mall. "The movie's gonna start, you're late." "Don't ask, you know how mom is." Guess who's coming to meet me afterwards? Ronnie. That college guy? That hot college guy. What's it with you and older men? Older men are good investments. Do you want to work for the rest of your life, or would you rather have a man pay for everything and take care of you? And be honest. And as for college guys, they're just for fun. You're crazy. It's called being smart. No, Jess, it's called being a gold digger. Suit yourself, but don't come crying to me 10 years later. Oh, Jess, come on, let's go in. The movie turned out to be awesome. Except Bella was constantly interrupted by her mom and Jess while she was texting her boyfriend the whole time. After the movie, the friends sat down in the food court and got some snacks. Hey, look over there. Bella turned to look at a middle-aged man staring their way. He looks like a creep, Jess. You're gonna get yourself into trouble one of these days. I think he's staring at you. He's been following us since we were at the movie theater. Bella nervously turned around, awkwardly locking eyes with the man, before she quickly looked away. Is he still staring? I think he's taking a picture. Let's get out of here. Bella and Jess got a little worried when they saw the man get up when they got up. But quickly taking turns around the mall, they lost him. Where did she go? That was weird. Oh look, perfect timing. Ronnie is here. You want to come along? No, I think I'll head home. Or else Miss Grandeur is gonna have a heart attack. Alright, I'll see you at school. Bella got home around 6 that evening. What's for dinner, Mom? Meatballs and spaghetti. But I wanted chocolate cake. You can't have chocolate cake for dinner. But you made it, right? Don't even think about sneaking it out of the fridge. Fine. So how was your day? It was nice. Bella didn't tell her mom anything about the creepy guy at the mall. She would freak. And soon, Bella herself had totally forgotten about him too. Excuse me, can I speak to you for a minute? Yes? That girl right there, what's her name? You mean Bella Grandeur? Bella. About 3 days later, when Bella was leaving school, she felt a bit anxious when she spotted the same man. What was he doing here? Hey, what was that man asking you? He asked me your name. I told him. Shoot. What happened, Belle? Look over there. Isn't that him from the mall? Alright, now that's creepy. How did he know we went to school here? Your mom's picking you up, right? Can you drop me off? Yeah, no problem. Luckily that day, Bella hitched a ride with Jess, but that wasn't to be the end of the strange encounters with this creep. Bella began to notice the man everywhere. He was definitely following her. Outside the library, outside the cafe. Bella always tried to stay with her friends, stay in crowds, and ditch him. But it was one afternoon, she got a little late studying at the library. Bella, where are you? Still at the library, Mom. I'm on my way. Bella was startled when her mom called her. She didn't even realize where time went. She packed up and decided to take the shortest route back home before her mom had a panic attack. But this turned out to be a big mistake. Bella's blood ran cold when she turned to a faint noise and saw the man was behind her, just a distance away. He had most likely followed her here and waited out for her. There was absolutely no one on the street except for them, and the skies were getting dark too. It would take about 15 minutes till she reached home. As her heart raced, Bella fastened her pace. But just then, the man ran towards her. Wait, listen. Bella froze for a while, before she almost started running. Wait, listen to me, Bella. As Bella was to turn the curb, suddenly the man reached in front of her. Being cornered, Bella was panicked. She slowly reached in her pocket to get her pepper spray, when suddenly the man took out a picture from his jacket. Bella, look at this. Bella looked at the picture. It looked like her, but... What did you do to my picture, you freak? No, Bella, listen to me. Stop calling me Bella, you don't know me. Leave me alone. With that, Bella bolted. She didn't stop until she reached home. Bella, what happened? Why do you look so pale? Mom, there's this man that's been following me for the past week. What? Why didn't you tell me before? I didn't want to worry you, but now I'm just scared. He's a freak. He stopped me on the street today and showed me this picture he took of me. He turned it into a woman, if you know what I mean. He made my hair like Princess Diana and put makeup and this heart necklace. What a creep. What? What was the picture like? He made my hair curly, this heart locket. All of a sudden, Helena's face grew dark as she grabbed her daughter and went into the room. Get ready right now. Pack your bags. We have to go. Where? What happened, Mom? Bella felt even more stressed seeing her mom take out her luggage and pack their passports and IDs. Hurry, she scolded. Bella was startled. She had never seen her mom so stern before. Without questioning her, Bella packed her things and headed out with her mom. It was around 8 p.m. and the streets were dark and empty in this town. Helena and Bella got into the car and swiftly drove out. Mom, where are we going? I'll tell you when we get there. Bella impatiently looked out as the radio played the news. But within a while, she began to notice 2 police cars behind them. Mom, tell me what is happening. Bella, just stay quiet and trust me. That's when the news turned on. Amber alert. Child gone missing in 1992 found. Woman suspected in silver vehicle, plate number 1975. Before the news could finish, Helena turned off the radio in a panic. But Bella had heard too much. She looked at the police behind them and looked at her mother. Who am I? You're my daughter. More than 16 years ago, Helena Granger used to live in Pittsburgh with her husband, John Granger. They were a happy couple and were expecting a child together. However, the night of the accidental fire, John lost his life, but Helena somehow managed to escape. But severely injured, she suffered a miscarriage at 6 months pregnant. The news of her husband and her child's death and having to lose their home and all their memories came as a shocking trauma to her. And Helena went into a deep depression. After a lot of therapy and rehabilitation, she finally began living a quiet life by herself, but she longed to have a family. Oftentimes, she used to walk by a daycare near her home and watch the children. And it was one day, she couldn't help herself. "Hello, little girl. Your dress is so nice." "Thank you. You know what? You look so pretty. You deserve a chocolate for it." "I know. I look like my mommy. There she is." "Oh, chocolate. I love chocolate." "But I'm your mommy. You don't look like me." "You're my mommy? Do you like your chocolate? We have a lot of chocolate back home. Do you want more?" "Yes, please." "Come on." Helena kidnapped a young girl, Samantha, from the daycare. She took the child and ran away to this small town and started a new life with her new daughter, naming her Bella Granger. She raised Bella with lots of love, and over time, Bella forgot her past. But of course, Helena could never forget. "He made my hair curly and this heart necklace. Who am I? You're my daughter." Helena stepped on the accelerator as she anxiously watched the cops reaching near. But seeing the stress on her mom's face, Bella held her hand. "Mom, it's okay. Stop the car. Everything's going to be fine." As soon as Helena and Bella stepped out, the police arrested her and Bella was taken aside. She was shocked to see the man that had been following her and a woman that looked so much like her. "Samantha, my baby, you've grown up so much. I thought I lost you." As Bella stared at her, the woman began to cry. "You don't remember me, do you? You were so young. I'm your mother. This is your father." "Bella, the first time I saw you at the mall, you were laughing and smiling. You looked so much like your mother, I was surprised. I tried following you. I wanted to talk to you, but you left and I couldn't find you anymore. But after a lot of searching, I found you at your school. And that day, I showed you a picture of your mother so you could remember, but it had been so long, you didn't recognize her. But finally, we found you." Helena Granger was arrested. However, during her trial, she was proven mentally unstable and sent to treatment at a mental asylum. While Bella, she started a new life with her real parents, trying to adjust and know her true identity. "Mom, Dad, I'm going out. I'll be back before 5. "All right, sweetheart." Her parents were very nice people, and Bella was grateful to get to know them. But even now, she still goes to meet her mom every weekend at the asylum. "Mom, how are you feeling?" "Bella, where were you all these days?" "I got a little busy, but I'm here now. Look what I made you, a chocolate cake." "My daughter."
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting. It has been some years since their marriage. Jonathan and his wife, Marianne, have been living in their own little home by the forests of Homewood, England. And for the past months, they have been expecting a little one to join them. As the sun set on a gloomy evening, Jonathan lit his lantern and hung it on his donkey cart. He was heading out towards the old graveyard where he had been felling wood recently. "Jonathan, I really don't like that you go there every evening. You know it's forbidden. It's not safe. No one dares go there." "Marianne, what choice do I have? Since no one goes there, it's the only place I can get my hands on some expensive wood. You know our situation. We're barely getting by ourselves, and soon it's not just going to be us. Be careful, okay? Don't worry about me. Have your dinner and go to bed, all right?" As night fell in Homewood, the forest became pitch dark. It was difficult to see anything, and no one was around for miles. The journey was troublesome, but this was the only time Jonathan could go out without being spotted by the townspeople. As he rode down the eerily silent path, a cool breeze rushed through the tall trees. It was quite chilly, and his donkey was rather reluctant to go. "Come on now, let's go." Jonathan pushed the donkey along, when suddenly he fell startled to the hooting of an owl. When his donkey wouldn't budge, Jonathan got down and pulled on its string, walking down the forest path. Can't be out all night now. About 20 minutes traveling, Jonathan reached near the old graveyard. It had been abandoned for many years now. No one buried their loved ones here, nor did anyone return to meet those who had been buried afore. He passed through the tombs, now covered in weed and vines, and tied his donkey to one of the trees. With his axe, he got to work. The winds had picked up quite a bit. Seems like it'll rain soon. We need to get back quickly. The skies began to rumble. Jonathan quickly got on his donkey cart and headed off. But as heavy gusts of wind began to blow, his donkey became startled. Jonathan barely managed to get hold of the animal as the cart tilted aside. But that was when the lantern on the cart fell, and the lights blew out. Jonathan was stuck in darkness. He got down and tried to calm his donkey. "Don't be afraid. It's all right. I'm with you." Letting the animal eat and drink, Jonathan sat down for a break as he got a fire going to turn the lantern on again. Finally, lighting up his path, Jonathan was about to get back on his cart when he felt a strange presence behind him. Is someone there? He raised the lantern and took a few steps back, trying to look through the darkness of the woods. But he couldn't see anyone or anything. Strange. It was quite late when Jonathan reached home. As he tied his cart and allowed his donkey into its shed, he heard Marianne's voice behind him. "Finally, you're home. You haven't slept yet? It's so late. I told you not to wait for me." "How could I sleep while you were out so late? Hurry, come in. It's about to rain." Marianne took Jonathan inside and served the table. Beef and green peas too. Smells delicious. After dinner, Jonathan and Marianne finally went to bed. The rain began to pour, and listening to the droplets hit the roof, they soon fell asleep. But sometime in the middle of the night, Jonathan woke up startled to Marianne's cry. "Jonathan, it hurts. The baby." What? But it's only been 8 months. Jonathan panicked, seeing Marianne crouch in pain. He didn't know what to do. But when the pain got worse, he knew they needed to get help. "Come on, get on the cart." Barely managing to get Marianne behind the donkey cart, Jonathan rode off in the rain. Reaching town, he went straight to the house of worship and knocked on the door. Priest Edward opened up, surprised to see him. "Father, my wife is pregnant. She's in pain. Please help us." "Don't worry, bring her in." Priest Edward immediately called for some of the nuns from the convent, and they escorted Marianne to help. "Brother?" Near dawn, Jonathan turned to see one of the sisters calling him. She had an anxious look on her face. "Is she all right?" "She's given birth to a son. He's healthy and well, but we're sorry, she's no more." "What? No, that can't be." Jonathan rushed into the room to see Marianne laying on the bed. She looked beautiful as she always did. Beside her in a cot, his baby boy. "She's fine. She's just sleeping. Marianne, wake up. Look at our child. Marianne, wake up." As Jonathan anxiously called Marianne, Father Edward walked into the room. "My son, she's no more." Jonathan looked at Father Edward in despair. "Father, this can't be." "Have patience. You have a son to care for. You can't break down like this. We have to honor her body and arrange for her burial." "Father, you know my situation. I won't be able to afford burying her in the town cemetery, but perhaps in the old graveyard." No, my son, not there. It's not a good place. I don't have a choice, Father. That morning, Father Edward assisted Jonathan in preparing for Marianne's burial at the old graveyard. Everyone was in a hurry to get back home. Everyone except Jonathan, who miserably stared at her grave. My son, if you visit her, come during midday. Never come here after sunset. This isn't a good place. Despite not wanting to leave Marianne, Jonathan had to get home. His sister Jocelyn was looking after his son. Jonathan, you're home. Jocelyn nestled the baby in the cot as Jonathan sat down beside him. The child is beautiful, Jonathan, just like you. I don't know. How am I going to take care of him without Marianne? Don't worry, everything's going to work out. Hearing the horse carriage outside, Jocelyn hurried to get her cloak. It was probably her husband. That's Roger. Jonathan, I have to go now. I'll be back tomorrow. I fed the baby and I left milk on the table. Take care. In the pouring rain, she rushed out to get into the carriage with Roger. Now, all alone in the silent house, Jonathan sat down beside the cot and stared at his son. He was sound asleep. Jonathan laid down and closed his eyes. No matter how much he tried to fall asleep, all that flashed before his eyes was Marianne. What are you doing with the axe, Marianne? You're gonna hurt yourself. I'm making a rocking chair. When our baby will be here, we'll sit by the fire and I'll sing him lullabies. And keep him up all night? Your voice is horrible. Jonathan! Jonathan opened his eyes and looked at the rocking chair, empty by the window, now empty forever. He tossed in bed, unable to sleep, when suddenly there was a knock on the door. At this time, hearing the knock, the baby woke up. Jonathan rushed to pick him up in his arms before he answered the door. But when he opened, he was startled seeing who stood at his porch. Marianne? You're alive? Yes, Jonathan. I never died. I never left you. No, this can't be. I buried you with my own hands. No, Jonathan. I'm alive. I'm here. Is that our son? As Marianne anxiously looked at the baby, Jonathan held him out. Our son, he said, as tears fell from his eyes. But it was just as Marianne was about to take the baby in her arms, Jonathan was startled by a cry. No, Jonathan! Take our child away from her! That's not me! Jonathan looked up behind Marianne, shocked to see the two of them. He grasped onto his son as the woman in front of him suddenly began laughing. Her face began to twist and deform into someone else. Many years ago, in this quiet town of Homewood, a beautiful young woman by the name Tamar had moved here and built a small cottage out in the woods by the graveyard. Her beauty fooled many, but in truth, she was no innocent woman, but a witch. After being banished from her hometown, Tamar had ran away to Homewood, where she found a new home amidst the graveyard, where she could continue her witchcraft and sorcery. Tamar would attend all the funerals that took place, but while everyone mourned the death of a loved one, she took delight in her wait for night, when she would return and have her share of the body. With her magic spells and witchcraft, Tamar rejuvenated herself and fulfilled her hunger and desires. But it was one day, someone spotted her. There was a woman in town who had recently lost her 12-year-old son and often visited the graveyard. But it was one evening she was shocked to see her own son standing there. William? When her boy saw her, he suddenly ran into the woods, and in her grief, she followed him, calling out, "William! William, stop! It's your mother! It's me!" She followed after him until she saw him enter a small, broken-down cottage. Whose cottage is this? The woman immediately barged in, horrified to realize it was the cottage of a witch. There was a hideous scent in the air. Vile, wicked things hung up on the walls. And to the far corner, a young woman stood crouched over her pot. "Where is my son? What have you done with him?" "Your son? I saw my son. He came in here." "I know how you must feel as a mother to lose a child, but you have to accept your son is no more." Seeing a wicked grin behind her pretentious eyes, the woman fell in rage as she took out a dagger from her waist belt and immediately struck her. "You wicked witch. I know you defiled my son's body. You ruined his afterlife. Because of you, he is in misery, suffering eternal damnation. I won't spare you." That night, when the townspeople returned to the cottage, they found it empty. Tamar's body was nowhere to be found. The woman claimed to have taken her life, but no one knew what really happened to Tamar. And ever since then, whenever people walked these woods by her cottage, they returned to town in fear, shouting they had seen her. And soon after, when people were found lifeless in horrible conditions, defiled, eaten out in the woods in fright, the townspeople abandoned the graveyard and forbid everyone from going there again. But it was after a long time that Tamar found her next victim, when Jonathan began going out into the woods by the old graveyard to collect lumber. Jonathan stepped back in shock as he stared at the woman stretch out her hands to take his child. But Marianne shouted out, "Banish her, Jonathan! Banish her right now!" "Our Lord, the King of the world, the ever-living, the self-sustaining, the most holy, you are above all weakness. You are the most powerful. You are never absent. Give us refuge and protect us from all evil." "No, no!" Hearing the prayer, Tamar held her ears as she fell weak to her knees, trying to get away. But Jonathan stepped out and loudly told her, "In the name of the Lord of Light, I banish you." Within moments, Tamar disappeared, and Jonathan stared out into the rain to see Mary Ann looking at him and their son. "This is our son. He looks just like you. Mary Ann, how am I going to live without you?" "Don't say that, Jonathan. You have to live for our son, for Jason. Don't leave me." "I have to, Jonathan. We all have a certain time, and my time is over. But we'll meet again one day. Take care of our son, and don't go to that graveyard again." Jason. "The ball went into the woods. I'll get it." What is this? Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting. Mrs. Prepon, you cannot be part of this church any longer. What? No, you can't do this. I've been part of this church for the past 25 years. I've maintained all the rules and regulations. You've broken the most holy law. No, you're misunderstanding. It was an accident. Mrs. Prepon, you are not welcomed here. That's my mother-in-law, Elaine Prepon. And yes, I'm the one who did this to her. But in my defense, she totally deserved it. But I wasn't always like this. It all started about 5 years ago. Back then, I was a different person. I was someone that didn't say no to anyone or anything. I was always kind and considerate. And as a consequence, I had a lot of people take advantage of me. After a toxic relationship with my ex-husband, I decided to leave him to raise our son Liam on my own. Liam was 4 years old, and being a single mother was very difficult. I was working an office job for long hours, and it was a very tough time for me. Sometimes I felt like giving up. I felt so alone. But in all this, I met Matthew. He came into my life and changed everything. Despite knowing about my past and my son, he accepted me, and we fell in love. Our relationship progressed quite fast, and in a matter of months, we decided to get married. And that was when I met his mother, Elaine. Matthew had brought Liam and I for a family dinner. And it was when Elaine found out about our relationship, she became all upset and stormed off from the table. "Have you gone mad, Matthew? You brought home a woman like her?" "Mother, she's a nice girl, and above all, she really loves me." "For heaven's sake, Matthew, she has a child from another man." "Mother, we all make bad decisions, and we suffer for that. So did Larissa, but that doesn't mean she doesn't deserve to be happy." "Then if you want to do this charity to her, then why don't you make her your second wife?" "Mother, you know I'm not into your church stuff. I'm not keeping 2 wives at the same time. And I'm going to marry Larissa, whether you like it or not. She's pregnant with my child. What? She's pregnant? That's how she baited you? No, I love her, and I want this child. Fine. At least don't belittle me in the society like this. Get married at the church. Larissa, where are you going? Matthew, I think I should leave. You heard everything, didn't you? My mother is a little like that, but she's accepted us. She only wants us to get married in church, as I'm her only child, and she has a lot of respect at the church she goes to. She's part of the hierarchy. Oh, alright. Absolutely. That's no problem. You see, I always saw the best in people, but the reality is, sometimes people stoop to their lowest. Matthew, before the marriage, I would like Larissa to sign these. What is this? It's just a prenup. In case of a divorce, Larissa will not be able to claim any of your money or property. This isn't necessary, Mother. No, it's alright. I'll sign it. I went along with it and signed her agreement, so long as it rid her suspicions of me. Mrs. Prepon, since the wedding's going to be held at the church, are there any other protocols I should know of? Oh, please, don't mess up anything more. Just wear the clothes I'll send you and show up. We have to get this over with before that belly starts to show. What are the church members going to think? A week later, she came to me with my wedding dress. And when I opened the box, I was surprised to see a black dress. Why is this black? Isn't the wedding dress supposed to be white? Of course, it would have been, but it's tradition of our church that divorcees, widows, or women who have lost purity or conceived a child wear black on their wedding. I didn't argue with her, but of course, numerous questions arose. Talking to Matthew, I found out Mrs. Prepon attended a very strange church, which had many strange rules and regulations, some of which were: all members must believe in the supreme alien and shall not resist when they come to rule. All members must not swim or try to fly because men are not ducks and were not created to swim or fly. Men are created for walking and running. However, using boats and planes are permitted for transportation purposes. All members must practice abstinence till marriage, and all men must have at least 2 wives to be free from being vulnerable towards one woman. All members must only eat vegetables, as animals are not food. All women must not wear pants, because pants are for men. The day of our wedding, Matthew and I arrived at church to find the members having some sort of seminar playing videos. What is this, Matthew? Don't ask. Every week the church members gather and share their evidences and proofs of witnessing extraterrestrial life, and then they go on with the ceremonies. It was after a long seminar that everyone started preparing for the wedding ceremony. That day, I stood wearing a black dress, while every other person, even Elaine, was wearing white. Oh, black dress. She's pregnant. She also has another child. Wow, he's going to regret this. Needless to say, the happiest day of my life turned out to be the most pathetic. Do you, Larissa Adams, accept Matthew Prepon as your husband? I do. Of course you do. Do you, Matthew Prepon, accept Larissa Adams as your wife? I do. Are you sure? Excuse me? You still have a chance, my son. Think this through. What? Yes, I'm sure. All right, I now pronounce you husband and wife. My wedding wasn't a matrimony ceremony, it was a public humiliation. But what I didn't know was that it was only the beginning. Matthew had always been very close to Liam, and after our marriage, he officially adopted him. And 7 months later, I gave birth to our son, Mark. We hosted a party and invited relatives and friends, but of course, Elaine showed up with a scowl on her face. Now that I've neared my old age, it's time I write up my will. And according to the traditions and beliefs, our heredity property can only be inherited by blood. So, I've left behind the house and your father's possessions to Mark. Are you going to give everything to only one of your grandsons? Don't be ridiculous, Matthew. You might be able to accept her and her love child, but Liam will never be part of this family. He's not my grandson. I couldn't understand how someone could feel so negatively towards a child. But over the years, as Liam and Mark grew up, Elaine visited quite often with gifts and presents, but they were all for Mark. She never paid Liam any attention or gave him any love. Grandma, you're here! Mark, look what I got you! Binoculars, cool! Now you can see the aliens. Can I see Mark? No, go play somewhere else. But I want to play with my brother. He's not your brother. Go find your real dad and your other brothers. A woman is an oven, and you are the bun of someone else. And Mark is the bun of my son. Now shoo from here. Mom, are you an oven? Your grandma was just playing with you. But I knew what Elaine was doing. She treated my boys so differently. And over time, I realized she was influencing Mark to think the same way. Mark, let's go play. I don't want to play with you. You're not my real brother. When I saw Mark push away his own brother, that day I realized if I wanted peace in this family, the only way was through that church. Matthew, I became a member at the church today. What? Are you crazy? Come on, they might be a little eccentric, but they're alright. You know they have issues. Serious duck issues. That weekend, I took the boys and went to Elaine's to let her know. But after arriving, she became occupied with Mark and didn't even give me or Liam a second look. Mom, look, a family album. Oh wow, here's your dad and your grandma. Grandma, I'm hungry. What do you want to have? Pizza. Alright, let's order a nice big veggie pizza. Within a while, the delivery came, and I got the pizza and served the table. But Elaine simply started eating with Mark without offering me or Liam any. What's this? It tastes pretty good. Hold on a minute. Mom, that looks like meat. You ate meat. What? Elaine started spitting the food out before she looked at Larissa helplessly. Please, don't tell anyone. Don't worry, it was an accident. Just wait and see. I'll have this pizzeria shut down. I was a bit surprised by how serious and anxious Elaine had gotten about it. She didn't want the word to get out at all. But it was the next weekend, when we had all gone to a church gathering, that something unexpected happened. "Grandma, try this. It tastes like the beef pizza you ordered that day. Can we order it again? I love beef pizza." "What? Mrs. Prepon, you had meat?" "It was a mistake. I don't know how the pizzeria got the wrong order. I threw it away as soon as I realized." "Oh, I see." It was the first time I had seen Elaine look genuinely frightened. But the church members had excused her. To patch things up and also to take a break from the city life, the next weekend, Matthew invited Elaine to join us on a small fishing trip. "Your grandpops used to take your dad out fishing all the time." Elaine had been looking after Mark, and Liam and I were recording some videos. It was some time into sailing, however, that I heard a loud splash on the other side. Mark fell into the water. As I called for Matthew, Elaine took off her sweater in a rush and jumped in to save Mark. "Hold my hand, Mark." "It's all right, Grandma. I got it." "What? You know how to swim?" "Yeah." "Who taught you?" "Dad." When Elaine found out Matthew had been training Mark to swim, she got furious. "You taught Mark how to swim? You know we aren't supposed to swim. We're not ducks." "Mom, then why did you jump?" Before she got all insecure again. "Don't tell anyone about today. Especially you, mister. You have one big mouth." "All right, Grandma, lips sealed." However, this time, although Mark was quiet, secrets had their ways of coming out. On our weekly seminar the next Saturday, I had brought in a special cassette recording of a UFO spotting. As you can see, it's clear that the 2 UFOs landed here, as I was explaining the footage. Suddenly, the cassette malfunctioned and footage from our fishing trip began to play. Mark fell into the water. "Hold my hand, Mark." Instantly, that the church members turned to Elaine. "Mrs. Prepon, what have you done? You swam like a duck. You cannot be part of this church any longer." "What? No, you can't do this. I've been part of this church for the past 25 years. You've broken the most holy law. You're misunderstanding. It was an accident. You've been exposed, Elaine Prepon. You have followed the ways of the ducks." "It was an emergency. I'm not a duck. I'm not a duck." "You've given up on your faith for the life of your grandson." Red in anger, Elaine started shouting at me. "You did this to me." "No, you did this to yourself." As long as things were only between Elaine and I tried to overlook our differences. But when Elaine started to break apart my 2 sons, I had enough. If she couldn't accept Liam as part of this family, she didn't need to be part of my family. So I started planning of a way to get rid of her. And the only way that was possible was through the church. The first thing I did after becoming a member was to read the big book of laws that I used to my advantage. Mark, when Grandma asks you what you want to eat, say pizza. That day, when I went to Elaine's, I had brought ground meat with me and sprinkled it onto the pizza before I served them. And before the church gathering, I reminded Mark of the incident. And as I expected, he mentioned it at the dinner. However, the church members had excused her, so I had to think of something big. The day I had gone to visit Elaine, I had seen some old pictures of her. Oh, so she knows how to swim. Matthew had been teaching Mark how to swim, so I wasn't so worried for him as much as I was to get the scene recorded. Jump from the boat, but pretend as if you're drowning until Grandma jumps in to save you, okay? Got it. And alas, to conveniently show it to the members, I had Matthew help me make a UFO video. Matthew, hold the string still. All right. And today, intentionally brought the altered cassette to expose Elaine and have her kicked out. Sorry, Mrs. Prepon. As member of the church, according to the laws, ex-members cannot be part of the family of current members. You won't get away with this. No, you can't send me out. I'm not a duck. Trust me, I'm not a duck. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting. There wasn't a single moment I thought she would leave me, but I was so stupid. I'm done with women. I'm never falling in love again. Yeah, dude, nobody saw it coming. Are you mocking me? You talk as if it was so obvious. It was, dude. We all saw it coming. What? Breaking up with his girlfriend after a long 3-month relationship, Calvin and his buddies, Jake and Ethan, came out to the shore so he could let out his sorrows. But instead, when Calvin slipped and fell onto the ragged rocks by the shore, his friends had to rush him to the ER. Could today get any worse? Yeah. The vending machine is broken. The friends were waiting for the x-ray results. When Jake peeked out the curtains hearing a voice. Dude, she's like a supermodel. How did she become a nurse? You're right, and she's young. Who are you guys looking at? Awfully curious, Calvin limped on his leg and peeked out. Wow, she is beautiful. Really? I thought your interests in women were long gone. Mr. Williams, your x-ray results have come in. Calvin turned to see the woman who had taken his x-ray. So, did I fracture my ankle? I'm afraid it's a bit more complicated than that. The x-rays show a full-blown rupture of your tendon, but luckily it can be treated with an immediate minor surgery. No, thank you. I'm fine. I don't need surgery. No, Mr. Williams. This needs to be treated as soon as possible or the condition will get worse and then we'll have to amputate your feet. Amputate? Alright, fine. Are you going to do it? No, she's going to do it. The friends turned to see the beautiful young woman. How is everything? She said, taking a look at the x-ray. Wait. She's going to do my surgery? This schoolgirl with tattoos? She's like really young. Is she even a doctor? She's the only on-call surgeon available tonight. The young woman looked at Calvin shocked, but chuckled. Dr. Sarah Cargill, don't worry, no one has ever lost life in my hands. As the nurse took him into the surgery room and administered the anesthesia, Calvin stared at Sarah putting on her mask. Don't worry, it's my first surgery. What? Wait, no! William woke up in a hospital room. Surprisingly, he didn't feel the pain anymore. As he sat up, the door opened and there was Sarah. Mr. Williams? You're alive? Thank goodness they didn't shift you to the morgue. I thought you died. What? Well, I was hoping you would die. Kind of messed up during the surgery and then we had to amputate your feet. No, please, no. Calvin lifted up his blankets, squinting a glance as Sarah burst out laughing. Be at ease, everything went well. You'll be discharged tomorrow and the injury should heal in a couple weeks. Calvin too couldn't help but smile as she checked his feet and wished him a fast recovery. He felt a bit embarrassed for the way he had judged her before. Dude, I owe her an apology. Bring flowers on your way, okay? Is this an apology or a date? I thought you were never gonna fall in love again. Just do it, dude. The evening Calvin was discharged, he asked to meet Sarah last time. Mr. Williams? It's Calvin. I owe you an apology for my behavior. I was kinda having a bad day. Flowers. This was Calvin and Sarah's first meeting of many meetings to come. At first, it was doctor's appointments. But then, they started to meet outside and got to learn about each other. Calvin was the type of guy who was soft-hearted, living a safe, secure, and peaceful life. But Sarah was all about living life on the edge, the adrenaline rush. On their first date, Sarah's idea of a thrilling night was going to an amusement park and riding the tallest roller coaster there was. I think I'll skip. I have a weak heart. Please, your pulse rate is just fine. There wasn't a moment when Sarah would stop, take in the fresh air, and chill. You live in Santa Monica and you don't know how to surf? Let's go, Calvin! Sarah, there's no one in the water. They spotted a shark. How did someone like you become a doctor? When you're a doctor, you learn the value of life, and you know you only have one, so you make the best out of it. And soon, Calvin too found himself doing things that he would never have done. Let's get matching tattoos. Tattoos? Come on, Calvin, I have a bunch of them and you're just getting one. And like they say, opposites attract. And before long, Calvin and Sarah were madly in love. It was one weekend that the couple spontaneously decided to take a road trip to Las Vegas. Alright, Sarah, we're here, but promise me you're not gonna do anything crazy. Before Calvin could even finish, Sarah ran into the casino. Calvin went after her, but soon found her standing amongst the crowd. Bella, will you marry me? Jacob, are you serious? As the crowd started cheering, say yes, say yes. Sarah turned to search for Calvin. Calvin, let's get married. Sarah, are you serious? Of course I'm serious. What about our families? Who cares about families? You only visit them on the holidays, and I've always been like this. I now pronounce you husband and wife. We got married! Surprise! When Sarah and Calvin returned to Santa Monica, they hosted a small party and announced their marriage. You guys aren't surprised? We guessed you two would do something like that. Married life together turned out to be beautiful. And not long after did Sarah give Calvin the news that she was expecting. Sarah, it's not one life anymore, it's two. So no more crazy adventures, no hunting, no surfing with sharks, or trying to drive like Fast and Furious. There is no way you are pulling a Tarzan stunt with our car with my baby. Alright, alright. Together, the couple prepared everything the baby could possibly need in their first year of life. And and it seemed within a blink of an eye, the 9 months went by. And Sarah and Calvin had their baby girl in their arms. What are we going to name her? Angela. Where's the little kiddo? Can we hold her? No, don't touch her. Don't worry, we washed our hands, but she's still fragile. Okay. No one's gonna mess with the mama bear. After 3 days at the hospital, both Sarah and Angela were doing great and were ready to return home. I've scheduled your postpartum appointments. I'll see you soon. Doctor, how long after childbirth do we have to wait? About 4 to 6 weeks. The small, happy family returned home, and everything seemed fine. But soon, things started to change. Calvin noticed Sarah had been staying away from him and avoiding intimacy. And he understood why, but he was desperate to be with his wife again. He waited for those 6 weeks to pass, in which he tried to help Sarah every way he could. Well, looks like someone needs a new diaper. Give her to me, I'll do it. It's okay, take a break, I'll take care of her. No, I said I'll do it. Whenever Calvin would come into the nursery to check up on Angela, Sarah too would hurry in. Sometimes she even stayed in the nursery overnight. Whenever Calvin tried talking to Sarah and trying to spend time with her, she pushed him away. I said, no, Calvin, stop it. Calvin, stay away. Things got to the point where his mere presence would even bother Sarah. It was one evening he had just walked into the kitchen. When Sarah turned around startled, "What are you doing?" "Not doing anything." Calvin couldn't understand why Sarah was behaving like this. Had he done something? So one night, Calvin decided to confront her. "Calvin, I said don't touch me." "Why? What happened? Why are you behaving like this? I understand things are different for you postpartum, but it's like our relationship is falling apart. You can't tolerate me anymore. You don't even want to be in the same room. And you've been behaving so strange and possessive with Angela." "It's nothing." Without answering anything, Sarah stormed out and locked herself in the nursery with Angela. And this time, Calvin too stayed put in his room, feeling so frustrated. But it was sometime in the middle of the night, he heard Sarah slowly creep into the room. "You're still awake? You haven't slept? Calvin, I'm going to tell you something that I've never told anyone before." "What?" "You've never met my parents, but I come from a very rich family. But my life was far from good. As far as I can remember, it had been happening with me around the time I was 6. He used to touch me. I was too young to realize what was going on, and he always told me not to tell, so I remained silent. But when I turned about 9 or 10 years old, I started to feel strange when he used to do all the things he did. But even then, I didn't have the courage to say anything." "Who did this to you?" "My father." "What? And what about your mother? She didn't do anything about it?" "My mother knew." Sarah Cargill was the eldest daughter to Richard and Elizabeth Cargill. Her father was a very influential businessman, and those who knew them saw them as a very respected and dignified family. But the truth behind the walls of the Cargill estate was far different. Sarah felt imprisoned in her own home, going through something that she was ashamed to speak of. And things only became worse as she aged. when she became a woman and completely understood the reality of the matter. When it all started as a child, she used to be scared every time her door creaked open at night and she saw her father step inside. She was afraid, not knowing what he was going to do. She wished he would just leave, but he wouldn't. Every night, she couldn't sleep in fear that it was going to happen again. But as the years passed by, the fear became a numb pain. Hearing her father's footsteps, seeing him close the door, she knew why he was here and what he was going to do with her. On the other hand, her mother too sensed something wasn't right. She would often find her husband leaving the room in the middle of the night. She would sometimes follow him to see him going into her daughter's room. And when he would return, she would hear Sarah crying, but she chose to turn a blind eye. She thought about the family's honor and prestige and remained silent. She tried to treat Sarah with love and compassion to make up for what she was going through. But Sarah grew up traumatized, expected to behave as if everything was normal, when it wasn't. Mr. Donahue, meet my wife and my eldest daughter, Sarah, the lady of the house. Sarah felt disgusted hearing her father call her his daughter. How could he put on this act after what he did to her last night, the night before? Sarah was suffocated living that lie. So when she turned 16, she decided she would leave this family and this life. She stole her mother's jewelry and some money from her father's safe and ran away from home, taking a bus not knowing where it would lead her. Eventually, she settled in a small coastal town in California, where she rented an apartment and got a job as a waitress and enrolled herself into college. Since she was a good student, she focused on her studies, and after a lot of hard work and also preference of her professors due to her looks, Sarah completed her medical degree and became a surgeon. But her past memories kept on traumatizing her. So Sarah always lived a hyper life. She always kept herself occupied doing the most craziest of things, because sustaining that excitement helped her forget the pain of her past. But it was after she met Calvin, those memories were somehow overshadowed, and she felt normal. However, when they had their daughter and Sarah saw Angela's face for the first time, all those memories returned, and deep down inside, she was traumatized again. I know you're a very different person from my father, but I'm unable to psychologically overcome my fear. I feel scared what happened to me might happen with Angela. You went through so much injustice, and you didn't tell me. These perverts of the society get the courage to do these kind of things because of people like us who remain silent. People like your mother who collaborate with them. We have to take a step. We can't keep quiet. For our daughter. For every daughter. So Calvin and Sarah filed a case against her father, Richard Cargill, and as proof, Sarah visited her old psychiatrist that her parents made her visit as a child for abnormal and depressive behavior. Will you come to court and help me? Yes, of course. Don't worry, I'll be there. The day Sarah stood in court, she was fully prepared in front of her father and mother, determined to fight this. However, as the case progressed, Sarah found herself in legal trouble when her father pleaded not guilty. Sarah turned a glance at her psychiatrist. She was the only person who could turn this case around. Your Honor, Sarah Cargill was a patient of mine in her childhood years, and she was a troubled child. She had a relationship with a boy, and when her father became an obstacle to that, she held a grudge against him and spread all these rumors. Sarah and Calvin were thundered as her psychiatrist changed her word, and her father's lawyer smirked, walking up to wrap up on the case. Your Honor, Richard Cargill is a very wealthy, influential man. His daughter had stolen money from him and ran away from his home when she was only 16 and never returned. These allegations aren't true. The only reason she filed this case was to trap her father to claim a share in his property and wealth. The whole thing is a mere setup. After taking into consideration all evidence, the court releases Richard Cargill from all allegations. However, investigation will be done on Sarah Cargill for defamation. Hearing the judge, Sarah couldn't stay put anymore. She stood up and looked at her mother straight in the eye. You call yourself a mother? Don't you have any shame? Order, order, please remain civil, or you will be arrested for the contempt of court. The whole time you knew, and you ignored what was happening to me. You will stay silent even now and pretend like nothing happened? You aren't my mother. You're my enemy. Elizabeth quietly listened to her daughter shout until she saw the police come forth to hold her back, and realized this had gone on long enough. Your Honor, I want to confess. What happened with my daughter is true. Her father had paid her psychiatrist to give a false witness, but all these years I knew, but I remained silent. I'm equally guilty of his sin. Hearing her mother come in front of everyone and give witness to everything, Sarah fell in shock as tears fell from her eyes. There was an uproar in the courtroom. Richard Cargill will be arrested and kept in custody as further investigation is done, and a case shall be filed against Dr. Cullen for having given a false witness. After the investigation was complete, the family met in court again for the final hearing. Richard Cargill was found guilty of the allegations made by Sarah Cargill and is sentenced to 5 years' time. Sarah sighed as her father was taken away by the police. What was the point of all of this? He wasn't punished. He's going to spend a month in probation and get out. Sarah, maybe he wasn't punished, but he didn't get away with it. Now people know. Even after years, it came back and destroyed him. People like him get the courage to do these kind of things because they think they will get away with it. But now they will know they won't. Calvin picked up their daughter in his arms, and it was all for her. So what happened to you doesn't happen with anyone.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.
Mom? Mom? Who are you? Are you lost? Come here. No! The Wilsons, Robert, Joanne, and their 9-year-old son Jamie, recently moved to the small town of Moretas in Brazil. From Florida, when Mr. Wilson was transferred here on the job. Robert worked for a company which was supplying produce from Brazil to the US, and he was to be a representative here. Though the language and culture was unfamiliar, Robert managed to speak broken Portuguese, while Joanne and Jamie struggled to cope with the new environment. Nonetheless, when Jamie enrolled into the local school and Joanne was introduced with the neighboring families, they quickly fit in. So how are things going? You must be having trouble getting around. It's been a little tough, but just learning a few Portuguese words have been a lifesaver. How about Jamie? It's been nice for him too. In all this nature, he loves playing out in the woods. The woods? No, don't let Jamie go out into the woods. None of us allow our children here. There's a creepy old lady that lives in these forests. People call her Bruja Velha, evil witch. They say she snatches children and eats them. Some years ago, a boy went missing in town, and he was never found. They say it was her. What? Haven't people gone to the police? Even the police are scared of her. They have these superstitions. If they arrest her, their families would be harmed. And besides, they don't have any strong evidence. Hearing about the strange old woman, Joanne was shocked and a bit frightened too. Mom, can I go play with my friends? All right, Jamie, but listen to me carefully. Never go out into the forest. Either play on the field with other kids or in front of the house, all right? Okay, Mom. After moving here, Jamie had been having a hard time with everything, but ever since he joined school and made a handful of friends, things had been better. After school, he rushed to the field nearby to play. When he got there, he found all the boys huddled together, whispering something. Come on, let's go scare the Bruja Velha. What's a Bruja Velha? She's a creepy old lady who lives in the woods. Is that why Mom told me not to play there? Are you guys actually going there? Why? You too scared to go? Chicken! No, I'm not a chicken. Then you go first. Put on the spot, Jamie reluctantly gathered up the courage and led the boys into the forest. After a small walk, they reached the hut, tucked away in the vines and trees. There she is. Seeing the old woman sleeping on her cot, the boys gathered a few pebbles and threw them at her. The old woman got up shocked and immediately stared out the window. You boys, hold on. I'm going to cook you and eat you. Hearing the old woman, the boys all shouted, Run! But just as his friends all sprinted away, Jamie too followed. But soon, tripped over a root and fell. As he sat up bearing the pain from his bruised knee, he saw the old woman walking towards him. No, let me go. Seeing Jamie cry, the old woman got him up, brought him inside the hut. Locking the door, she brought him to the table before hanging a kettle of water over the fire. Jamie trembled as he watched her get some herbs and throw them in. What are you going to do to me? Are you going to make me into soup? Please don't eat me.
The old woman looked at Jamie and chuckled. She brought over the hot water, soaked the towel in it, and sat down beside him.
Please, Bruja, please. No, don't.
To Jamie's surprise, the old woman rather gently cleaned his bruise and took out some bandages from an old chest. Does it hurt?
It does.
This is lavender and rosemary. It'll help with the pain. Smells nice. After dressing the wound, the old woman heated up a bowl of soup and watched Jamie eat. Do you like it? The bread is hard. This old woman can't grind her barley like the old days. Finally, when Jamie was full and happy, she took him out into the woods and showed him the way back. Go straight and you'll be home. As soon as Jamie returned home, Joanne noticed the bandage on his knee. Jamie, what happened? I slipped and fell. You have to be more careful. Come on, let me check it. Slipping the white lie, Jamie followed his mother inside. He knew she would probably be very mad and he didn't want to get into trouble. That night, Jamie placed a sprig of lavender the old woman had given him under his pillow and went to sleep. The next day, when he got to school, his friends all gathered around him shocked. You're okay? What happened back there? We thought the Bruja Velha caught you. No, I got out of there. The boys never dared to go into the woods again. But it was a couple weeks later, one day, when Jamie returned home, he found the house filled with the aroma of freshly baked rye bread and remembered the old woman again. Gotta go, Mom. Jamie, be home on time. Jamie rushed off with the loaves of soft bread. He would give this to the old woman. He happily skipped his way through the forest, spotting her little hut. He creaked open the door to find her sleeping in her cot again. Bruja? It had been an hour past 5, and Jamie hadn't returned home. Joanne was worried sick. She immediately called Robert, and the parents went out searching. Did you kids see Jamie? No, he didn't come to play with us today. What? Then where could he go? The parents were struck in panic and anxiety. The whole evening passed, and there was no news of their little boy. Rob, what are we going to do? Where could he have gone? But just as Joanne broke down crying, the parents suddenly heard the front gate creak open. There in the front yard was Jamie. Jamie, where were you? You had us so scared. I got a little lost in the forest. What? Jamie, I told you never to go in these forests. Something horrible could have happened. I'm sorry. No, a sorry won't do it, Jamie. You're not allowed to go out on your own again. That night, Joanne put Jamie to bed and she and Rob finally got some shut-eye. But it was as she dozed off. She saw Jamie. "Mom, please help me." "Jamie, don't move. Don't go any further." "Jamie!" Waking up from that awful nightmare, Joanne immediately ran to Jamie's room. Relieved when she saw her boy sound asleep. The next day, when Jamie returned from school, he put away his shoes and bag and then simply stayed in his room reading and drawing. Wow, he's never been this well behaved. Probably trying to make it up, so I let him go play on the field again. When a few days went by like this, Joanne thought she let Jamie out. "Jamie, don't you want to go play with your friends?" "No." "What? Why not?" "I don't like them anymore." Joanne was quite surprised by Jamie's reluctance. Had they gotten into a fight? Jamie would never choose staying at home over playing out. But from that day on, it seemed Jamie would always keep to his room, fiddling around with his toys by himself. It was one day, she thought if she took him herself, the kids would patch up. But that day, when she watched her boy join the others for a game of football, she was surprised seeing Jamie play so well. He had never been the athletic kind. He barely had good balance, always tripping and bruising himself. Goal! But that wasn't the only unusual thing she noticed in Jamie. "Jamie, have your mango smoothie." "Mangoes and milk? I don't want to have this." "You love having this." "No, mangoes and milk are poisonous." "What?" Seeing Jamie run off to his room, Joanne was more than bewildered. "You won't believe what happened. Jamie said mangoes and milk are poisonous." "Oh, I heard that too. The locals here have this strange superstition with their mangoes." "Oh, so that's what it is." Jamie had been coping quite well in Brazil. He didn't seem to be having any issues anymore. In fact, one evening, she noticed Jamie watching a Portuguese show. He understands it? And then one day, she found him writing Portuguese in his notebook. "Jamie, where did you learn to write Portuguese? Are they teaching you in school?" "No." "Did you learn from your friends?" "Sometimes we speak Portuguese." "Wow, can you teach me?" "No. Can I go to my room?" Joanne stood shocked as Jamie got up and left, almost irritated by her. As the days went by, she couldn't help but notice a strange change in him. All day he kept to himself in the corner of his room, reading or drawing, never going out to play, never even talking with her. Joanne felt as if she were with a stranger. What happened to Jamie? He was never like this before. They used to spend so much time together. He was happy and cheerful. "I don't understand, Rob. It feels like he's not my son, but someone else." "What are you saying? Of course he's your son. He's growing up, adjusting to the new culture, new friends." But when things went on like this, Joanne got a strange feeling something wasn't right. It was one afternoon while she was out in the market, she spotted one of Jamie's friends. "Ronnie, you and Jamie are good friends, right?" "Yes, Miss Wilson. Did something happen between you guys and Jamie? The look on the boy's face changed before he stuttered. It was that day. We went to prank the bruja and she came chasing after us, so we ran. But Jamie fell. We thought she got hold of him. Joanne remembered the evening Jamie had returned with a bruised knee. He had lied to her. But more than that, knowing her son might have fallen into the hands of the old woman, Joanne didn't know how to feel. Was this why Jamie had been behaving so strange? Had that woman done something to him? When Joanne reached home that day, she saw her neighbor Marie passing by. Marie, I was wondering, what you told me about that bruja, is there any truth to it? Well, just 2 houses down, the Alvarez's son went missing some years back. They tried everything to find him. The boys said he had gone into the forest. Police searched everywhere, but it was as if Reggie had vanished. Learning about Reggie, Joanne became anxious and stressed, remembering the day they had almost lost Jamie. I got a little lost in the forest. As she pondered on everything that happened, all she could think of was that woman. She must have something to do with it. Unable to hold in her anxiety and fear, the next day, Joanne decided she would confront her herself. It was raining, but she went out into the forest and soon found the old woman's hut. Knocking on the door, Joanne found it open. She cautiously stepped inside. Looking around, the place was a mess. Far to the corner, on the cot, the old woman lay asleep. Joanne tried to make some noise, but the woman didn't move. So she walked up to her, calling her. She didn't reply. Joanne pulled her back. Horrified by what she saw, the old woman lay there, nothing remaining of her body except her shriveled skin against her bones. She's no more. Living all alone out in these woods, isolated and outcasted by everyone, the old woman had passed away without anyone even knowing. Frightened by what she saw, Joanne rushed out, returning home. If this old woman had been dead all along, if she had nothing to do with it, then what happened to Jamie? Panting as she reached home, Joanne shut the door and took a breath of relief. The house was silent. Jamie was probably in his room. She went to check on him. But the minute she opened his door, she froze, seeing Jamie standing to the corner, drawing on the wall. Isu Reggie. I am Reggie. It was about 3 years ago. Reggie was only 11 at the time. Every afternoon, he used to go out with his friends to play football. But it was one day, while the boys were playing in the woods, they happened to get into a fight. And one of them pushed Reggie. It was then that Reggie accidentally slipped and fell in a ditch, fatally hitting his head on a rock. Afraid and panicked, the kids promised never to tell anyone what happened and left Reggie there. And eventually, when Reggie was reported missing, they all lied.
We went into the forest. We saw the Bruja Velha come after us and we ran, but Reggie never returned. They blamed the old woman, and eventually the news spread in town. And when Reggie's body was never discovered, people began to assume she was behind it. She was a witch. She was evil. But the truth was far different. And the only person who knew the truth was Jamie. When he discovered the old woman's remains that day and ran off into the woods to fall into the same ditch Reggie lay for years. Is Jamie possessed with Reggie's spirit? Isu Reggie.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.
Your package, miss. Could you please keep it inside? Sure. Mommy, I'm hungry. Dinner is almost ready, sweetheart. Thank you, Mommy. It's been 7 years since Elizabeth has been living like this. Far from town and far from her family. Sometimes she thinks about home. Sometimes she wonders if they think about her. Elizabeth grew up in the small town of Wells in Alaska with her single father. He was a hunter and quite well known in town. He had been hunting for years and had a collection of prized game animals from moose, wolves, and bears. Growing up, Elizabeth had learned all the secrets of the trade from her father. And like him, she was exceptionally skilled in the field. Elizabeth always remembered the 4 golden rules. Treat all guns as if they're loaded. Keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Keep your finger off the target until ready to shoot. And always know your target and what is beyond it. Got it, Dad. Great job. She's so beautiful. Roger, one of our men went out hunting on the north side a couple nights ago. It was a full moon. He hadn't returned and we sent some men out to search. His body was found this morning. How did it happen? It was another one of those attacks. You have to do something, Roger, or we'll all be victims.
Elizabeth would always accompany her father on these hunting trips, and it was often she would hear about these wolf attacks in these forests. Though Elizabeth thought she could handle it out in the wilderness, her father wouldn't allow her out alone for that very reason. Nonetheless, Elizabeth wasn't afraid of anything. She always carried her gun, her hunting knife, and besides, she didn't go too far out from camp. But every day wasn't the same. And on one specific afternoon, Elizabeth had wandered out a bit too far, and before she could figure her way back home, the sky started to get dark. Shoot, Dad is going to be pissed. As Elizabeth tried to figure her location, she suddenly started to hear low footsteps. Immediately alert, she took out her gun and turned around, spotting a wolf. Elizabeth stood firm, hoping she would scare off the animal. But that's when she realized it wasn't just one, but many, all surrounding her. For the first time, she felt panicked. She didn't know what to do. She might be able to shoot one, but all the others would charge at her. Frantically, Elizabeth put her finger to the trigger. But deep down inside, she was frozen. The wolves howled as they stepped closer to her. When all of a sudden, Elizabeth heard a deep voice. Heel. At once, the wolves stood back as a man ushered them away just with his glance. He looked at Elizabeth sternly. Do not come to this area again. Wait, who are you? And tell your people to stay out. So, you're the wolf man. I'm not the wolf man. That day, Elizabeth returned to camp late in the evening. And sure enough, her father had already sent out a group of men in search for her. Where were you? I got a little lost. I told you not to go far. You know what's been happening. It's dangerous out there. I know, Dad. But I'm back safe and sound, right? Elizabeth didn't tell her dad what happened. But she couldn't forget it either. Who was that man? And how did he communicate with those wolves like that? The more Elizabeth thought about what happened, the more she wanted to meet him again, know about him. But even after searching for the next few days, she couldn't find him. All right, if I can't find him, maybe I can bait him to find me. I told you not to come here. What's the problem? Seems like your wolves are fond of me. Leave. It's not safe for you. Please, not you too. I'm Elizabeth. I know who you are, and I know your father wouldn't like you being out here. It's not like he's going to find out. What are you doing here? Why are you asking me? I want to know what you are doing here. How do you get along with these wolves like this? Wolves. They're my friends. They're your friends? More like family. Over the next days, Elizabeth returned to the forest, where she secretly started to spy on him. Hi. So, this is where you live? You don't know you're not supposed to go to strangers' homes? Well, if you'd tell me your name, we wouldn't be strangers now, would we? It's Caleb. It's all right. Tell me why you're really here. I'm just curious. I want to know how you're so friendly with all these animals. So you're a hunter who wants to make friendship with animals. You know, I found your cave like a week back. I could have told Dad about you guys. They've been looking for the Wolfman. I told you, I'm not the Wolfman. Then what are you? I'm the Great Wolf. Over the days, Elizabeth started meeting Caleb more often, and soon they became close. Though Caleb was quite reclusive, Elizabeth got to know more about him and the wolves. There was a time when there were many animals all over North America, wolves being among them. The Appalachians were their home. But when people began ruining their habitat and hunting them down, the wolves slowly began to migrate here to Alaska. But still, people haven't spared them, and now the wolves were going extinct. The days were going by like this. Elizabeth would spend hours out in the forest with Caleb. And with time, the two started to develop feelings for each other. I got you something. A blade? It's not just any blade, okay? It's made of obsidian. I made it myself. Elizabeth, your people will never accept us. They'll never understand our relationship. Perhaps, but I can't imagine being without you. Well, you'll have to, because I won't be here tomorrow. Where do you go every month? There are some things I have to take care of. What is she doing here? Who is he? Roger, we've been keeping watch on the north side for some time now, and we tracked down his home, and tomorrow's the night of the full moon. Good. Bring him back alive.
The following night, Elizabeth was at the camp in her cabin when she woke up hearing a commotion outside. Peering through her window, she saw her father's men had brought in a catch. "We caught him. We caught the great wolf alive. Didn't even have to use our silver bullets. We ambushed his cave. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to catch him, let alone find him." Elizabeth watched as her father stepped out to see the matter. As the men moved aside, she looked closely at the creature. Half man, half wolf. She froze, suddenly recognizing the locket around his neck. Caleb? "What do you want us to do with him?" "Finish him off tomorrow morning." Seeing Caleb trapped in the cage, Elizabeth's heart raced. What was she going to do? If she didn't get him out of here tonight, she would lose him forever. So she waited. She watched as everyone returned to their tents before she sneaked into her father's room and got out the key. Late into the night, the men guarding the cage had all fallen asleep, and Elizabeth slowly creeped behind the cage. As soon as she got to the gate, Caleb stirred up in rage, not recognizing her. Shh, it's me, Caleb. Don't worry, I'll get you out of here." Elizabeth slowly opened the lock and let Caleb out. But just as they were to escape, Elizabeth froze, hearing a voice. She turned to see her father run towards them, holding up his rifle at Caleb. "Elizabeth, get away from it!" All of a sudden, all the men picked up their rifles at Caleb as Elizabeth stepped in front of him. "No, Dad, please. He won't harm you. He won't harm anyone. I lost your mother to beasts like him. I'm not going to lose you." "Dad, no, listen to me." As the men tried getting closer, Elizabeth tried to shield Caleb. But he became aggressive. And in the moment, Roger fired. "No!" Elizabeth fell to the ground beside Caleb as he took his last breath. "Dad, why? Why? He didn't do anything to you." "He's not what you think. How could you be so cruel? Get him out of here." Elizabeth tried to fend off the men from Caleb, but her father grabbed hold of her and locked her in the cabin. Elizabeth cried as she watched them take Caleb away. She pleaded to her father, but he wouldn't listen. It was too late. It's finally over. The beast is dead. Now we won't have to suffer anymore. As news of Caleb's death got around, everyone rejoiced, thinking they had gotten rid of the great wolf. But as Elizabeth mourned the loss of her love, she kept hidden a secret. She was pregnant with Caleb's child. She knew if her father found out, he would take this life, just as he had taken Caleb away from her, but she wouldn't let that happen. So one night, Elizabeth ran away. She traveled far out here, where she started living a life by herself, and soon gave birth to her son. Conan was different. He was no ordinary child. He possessed unnatural strength. He had excessive thirst and hunger. As a child, Elizabeth managed to suffice his needs. But as Conan grew into his toddler years, he required more, and Elizabeth didn't have a choice but to find other means. They want us to deliver this to this house? She began to order horse meat and had it delivered to her home every month on the full moon for Conan. And this was how they had been living for the past 7 years. The older Conan became, the more he reminded her of his father. "Why am I different, Mommy?" "You're not different, sweetheart. You're just like him. One day, you'll become the Great Wolf." Even if the world were against him, Elizabeth would protect him for as long as she lived. "Officer? May I come in?" "Sure, is everything all right?" "We've recently gotten some complaints from a delivery service." It was a strange house. When I went inside, I felt like there was a tiger in there. I heard noises, growls. "You wouldn't happen to have a pet tiger, would you?" "Tiger? No, officer. It's just my son and I. Conan." "Hello, officer."
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.
Is anyone there? It's all right, child. Everything will be fine. Rachel, I don't want to do this. You don't want to do this? Then what do you want? Edward and I are paying for your college, your dorm, and now raise a child? How much do you think we can afford? You don't have to. Don't be naive. Where will you go? Where will you live? What will you eat? You think that boyfriend of yours is gonna take care of you? He'll abandon you and his kid just like that. You have no one but us. And if you want to stay, you have to get rid of it. You're heartless. You've always been. Rachel and Anna, two sisters. Growing up, they saw their parents struggling to make ends meet. From a young age, Rachel has always felt responsible for Anna. After her marriage to Edward, it has been them who has been supporting Anna financially, taking care of her every need. Perhaps deep down inside, it was also because Rachel saw Anna as a child of her own, a child she desperately wanted to have. It has been 6 years of their marriage, but Rachel has been unable to conceive. And at this point, she has begun to lose hope. Where did this crib come from? Rachel, what happened? Rachel woke up anxious. Her heart raced as she felt an intensifying pain in her stomach. Edward, it's hurting. It was near midnight when the couple hurried to the hospital. Edward anxiously waited as the doctor examined Rachel. But a while later, when he saw the doctor come out, she had a smile on her face. "Doctor, is Rachel all right?" "Congratulations, you're going to be a dad." "What?" This was a miracle child for Rachel and Edward, and they couldn't be more than happy. It wasn't before long that Rachel started preparing for the child, taking care of herself from her diet and exercise. And with the limited money they had, they arranged a small nursery for the little one. "Rachel, are you having trouble sleeping?" "No, I'm all right. Maybe it's just the stress of a new baby on the way." "You look a little pale. Are you losing weight?" "I've been trying to eat properly." Ever since Rachel has been expecting, all she has been thinking about is Anna. So she thought, why not give her little sister a visit? "What do you want?" "Why? Can't I visit my baby sister?"
I thought you only loved yourself. Only loved yourself. Anna, I've come to apologize. Who is it, sweetheart? It's my sister. Oh, I'll quickly go get something. Anna opened the door to Rachel. As she took a seat inside, she noticed Anna and her boyfriend in the kitchen. Wait. You were right. I had become heartless. I'm really sorry. It's okay, just whatever happened, happened. You don't look so good. Are you alright? I'm also having a baby. Really? I'm so happy for you. After a rather nice evening at Anna's place, Rachel returned home feeling a little better. But strange as it was, as the pregnancy progressed, Rachel's health began to deteriorate. She began losing weight. She couldn't sleep. She looked sickly. It was one of these evenings. Rachel had gone out to throw away the trash. When something strange happened. What was that? Is it a cat? No. No. It was later that night when Edward returned home. He was shocked to find the food burning on the stove, the house silent. Rachel? Rachel, where are you? Where are you? Finding the back door open, Edward stepped out to find Rachel unconscious. Edward? What happened? Edward, I don't know why, but I've been having these nightmares. Ever since I got pregnant, I've been seeing a child. A dead child. What? And this evening, when I went to throw out the trash, I saw it. I saw it again. It was crying. Rachel, you really need rest. Stop worrying about everything. It's taking a toll on you. But Rachel's condition only got worse in the coming days. And in all this, one night she woke up feeling a tremendous pain in her stomach. Edward woke up horrified, hearing Rachel scream. he went to wake her up. What he saw made his skin run cold. The bed was flooded in blood. Edward, the child is all right, but in a critical condition. This pregnancy will have some complications, as Rachel has had complication and emergency C-section in previous pregnancy. What? Yes, the lining of her uterus is very from the previous complications. I'm sorry, but there is a chance she might lose this child as well. Hearing the doctor, Edward was confused. Rachel had never gotten pregnant before. When did she have a C-section? Edward? How are you feeling? I'm fine. Rachel, is there something you want to tell me? You heard from the doctor, didn't you? I'm sorry, Edward. I wanted to leave it behind in the past, but it's haunting me. Almost 8 years ago, when Rachel was in her senior year in high school, she was dating Jared, her high school sweetheart. The two were planning to move out together, but in all this, when Rachel accidentally got pregnant, things turned around. Jared, we're going to have a child. What? Are you sure? You're not serious, are you? Yes, Jared. I'm late 2 months. Are you sure it's mine? What do you mean if it's yours? Rachel, have you lost your mind? We can't take care of a baby now. I can't do this. What are you trying to say, Jared? I'm out. When Jared found out about the pregnancy, he broke up with Rachel and simply disappeared. Rachel was devastated. She carried the child in depression, and being young and naive, she didn't take care of herself or the child. And it was 8 months into the pregnancy, she had to have an emergency C-section due to the complications. But it was even after the child was born. Rachel couldn't care for him. And one night, the child passed away. Not knowing what to do, she wrapped the child and secretly went out to the orphanage to bury it. But before she could, the orphanage mistress had sensed her presence. Leaving the child that night, Rachel had run away, and she planned never to look back. What I did was heartless. It was wicked, and now it's haunting me. It's haunting our child. What are we going to do now? I have to go back. I have to redeem myself. The next day, Rachel visited the same orphanage. Excuse me, about 9 years ago, someone had left a lifeless child here. What happened to that child? Ah, yes. The child was buried here, dear. Can you please take me there? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, child. As Rachel broke down into tears, seeing the small grave, she heard a voice behind her. Who are you? Rachel turned to see the old headmistress. I was the one who had left him behind that night. I wish I hadn't done what I did, and now my past is haunting me. Come with me. Following the headmistress, Rachel entered the orphanage altar. The lady stood, calling out to someone. Child, come out. Your mother is here. Rachel suddenly saw a little boy walk out of the darkness. Who is he? Mommy, I've been waiting for you. You're alive? Rachel desperately went to hold her child, but the boy moved away. You can't touch me, Mommy. Why did you leave me here? Rachel broke down in tears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, child. I wasn't strong enough. I didn't have the courage to keep you. Please forgive me. It's okay, Mommy. Don't cry. I forgive you. But Mommy, you never gave me a name. I always wanted a name. After thinking a while, Rachel said, Aaron. Your name is Aaron. Thank you, Mommy. His soul was trapped here all these years, waiting for you. But now that you gave him that closure, he can go in peace, and you can move on. It's a boy. What's his name? He's my Moses, little brother of Aaron.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.
You? What are you doing here? Champ, are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Joe! Joe! Junior, have faith in yourself. Look out for his moves. Don't exhaust all your energy in the first rounds. Take it slow. You have to go 15 rounds. Yes, Ma. Ashley, he's not ready. No, he can do it. He's a son. Joe, what is the matter with you? Look at yourself. What are you doing to yourself? I don't want to do this myself. But you know, Ma, you know what she's been through for me. I can't let her down. Joe, get some sense into yourself. You're not your dad. This isn't for you. You need to finish your schooling. You need a proper career plan. And get your life together. I can't give up. Why? Why can't you give up? For this? Get to your senses, Joe. If you listen to your mother, you're going to die in the ring just like your dad. Liz, what the hell? Talking to you is of no use. Junior climbed down the bank and hurried to pick up his dad's boxing gloves. It's been over 16 years. Joe Marciano, the champion, passed away, leaving behind his great legacy to be carried by none other than his son. Joe Marciano Jr. But Junior is nothing like his father, and he doubts if he will ever be. I'm nothing compared to you, Dad. I don't know what to do. Hey, beautiful. What are you doing here all by yourself? Mind your own business. Come on now. A girl like you needs a little company. I do have company. Company? What company? Leave her alone. Guess what? Her boyfriend is little Junior here, the great boxer who always gets his ass kicked. And now he wants his ass kicked by us. Listen, guys, we don't want trouble. Let us go. Oh, come on, champ. Let's have some fun. Show us your skills. How about a little street fighting? Joe, what got into you? How did you do it? I don't know. Was it my rage or... Dad? Junior, how's it going? Coach, I've been thinking. I want to give this another try. Boy, you've tried already. Everything is not for everyone. I knew your dad. He wouldn't have wanted it like this. Your mother is a stubborn old lady. She loved your dad like crazy. You need to make her understand. You don't need to do this. No, Coach. I know I can do it. I'm up for anything. I can do this. From that day on, Junior gave his all to boxing. He didn't know how or what it was, but wearing his father's gloves changed everything for him. He took it to every match and brought back victory. And soon, Junior made it to the top of the ranks. Now people knew him in the boxing world. After his father's demise, things hadn't been so well financially for Ashley and Junior. But ever since he began winning his matches and making money, everything took a big turn. And not long after, Junior signed a big contract with the International Boxing Championship for the big title.
And the winner is Joe Marciano Jr.
I'm so proud of you, son. I knew you had it in you. It's in your blood. Congratulations, champ. And even Liz became a big support for him. I was wrong. I didn't believe in you, but your mother was right. You are your dad's son. Dad was the best. He used to tell me, to be a great champion, you must believe you're the best. And if you're not, pretend you are. Finally, Junior's boxing career had reached an all-time high. Now he was the champ, and all the top contenders wanted to face him. In all this, one day at the gym, Junior got a visitor. Boy, you're just like your father. And you are? Ronnie, I knew your father. He was an old friend. We were really close. Oh, yeah, I heard about you from Ma. Joe would have been proud seeing how far you've got. I hope so. Son, there's something important I wanted to discuss with you. About what? You're the champ now, so you'll have to defend your title. I want to promote your title defense. It's the least I can do in memory of your father. He was a legend. He was a great man. A good friend. Ronnie was a boxing promoter, and from then on, he began promoting Junior's title defense matches. And Junior was able to successfully defend his title 3 matches in a row. To celebrate the success, Ronnie hosted a yacht party, inviting the richest and most influential names of the boxing world. It was a wild, long night. It wasn't until late after midnight everyone went in. On the silent deck, Ronnie and Joe stood under the skies with a drink. We're going to take this to the next level, champ. You have to hold on to this championship as long as you can.
What are you thinking, boy? It was you, wasn't it? What are you talking about? That day, Dad died. His last match. Why did you do it? You knew? "17 years ago, Joe Marciano was known as the greatest boxer in the boxing world. He was a good fighter, a good sportsman. And he won the championship. Well done, champ. You're the man, champ. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. The hands can't hit what the eyes can't see." Ronnie was a good friend of Joe's. Though Ronnie wasn't a boxer or had anything to do with boxing, he was always making Joe laugh, and Joe thought of him as a friend and took care of his finances, as Ronnie didn't do anything. It was before one of his title defense matches. Some folk came to speak with him. "We need to have a word." "What is it about?" "Mr. Boris wants you to lose the match." "Go tell your boss. That ain't gonna happen. It's not for free. More money than you can ever imagine. Tell your boss I'm not for sale." At these matches, there would be influential underground syndicates who would bet on the fight. And come time for one of the biggest championships, everyone knew Joe would successfully defend his title. But they wanted otherwise. Betting on the opponent, Mr. Boris wanted Joe to lose, and hence, all the money would go to him, and a small share for Joe. But Joe outright refused the deal. Of course, Mr. Boris had other ways. At first, they tried to intimidate Joe. Who are these people? It must be them. And the threats only got worse with every occasion. "Hello? This time, it was your wife. Next time, it'll be your son. Tell your boss, do whatever he wants. I'm not for sale." When nothing worked, they got a hold of Ronnie. "If you can make him lose, we'll make you rich." So Ronnie tried to talk Joe into it. "What are you doing, Joe? This is a grand opportunity for you. How much will you make winning this match? Whereas you can put your money and bet through me, and then get money through them as well. Why won't you do this?" "Because I'm not a sellout. I'm a sports person. I'm not a gambler. And above all, I'm not a cheat." When Ronnie tried to convince Joe, it broke out into an argument, and they ended up cutting off relations. But it was right before the big day. Ronnie came to meet him again. "You? What are you doing here?" "I've always been there at every match of yours, and today's your big day. I just wanted to wish you best of luck." But that day, Ronnie betrayed him and injected him with poison. What have you done? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, champ. They would have killed me. You and your family. I didn't have a choice. Just quit the fight. After 2 rounds, you'll be fine. And we'll be rich. You disgust me. That day, Joe went in for the fight. Quit. 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 You gotta quit, champ. You gotta quit. But even after 2 rounds, Joe continued to fight until death. In his last moments, it was Ashley who was beside him. Joe! Joe! Joe told her what happened before he passed away. Ashley was the only person who knew the truth, but there was nothing she could do. She was afraid for herself and their son. After Joe's death, things became difficult for her and Junior. She tried to make the best out of whatever Joe had left behind and raised Junior all on her own. And in those tough moments, she only had one goal: revenge. Success is the best revenge, Junior. Ashley realized even though Junior was a good kid, he didn't have the talents of his father. But she continued to train him and push Junior to break through his limits. She never gave up on him. And today, Junior is what he is because of her. And now, he is standing next to the man who betrayed his father. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. Your father was just too stubborn. It would have killed us. You, your mother. I tried to convince him. It was just one match, but he wouldn't listen. No, you didn't do this to save us. You did it for money. You think they never reached me? That night, Junior won the championship match. Mr. Boris came to meet him. Congratulations, champ. I wanted to give you something. Mr. Boris gave Junior his dad's championship belt. This is Dad's. Yes. After your dad's death, I bought it at an auction, and I kept it in my collection. I was a big fan of his, you know. Then why did you kill him? Kill him? I never wanted to kill him. I was his fan, but I was also a businessman. I wanted to make money. I was trying to intimidate him. If I wanted him dead, I have better ways of doing it. I wouldn't have sent that lowlife to convince your father. It was him. He did it for the money. That night, when Joe died, Ronnie made millions. It began his boxing promoting career. And soon he became a big man in the boxing world. Mom always said, success is the best revenge. But you betrayed my father, and you took his life. The next day, the yacht returned back. Ronnie's body was never found,
and everyone assumed he had gotten drunk and fell into the sea.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.
Minister! Minister! Ezra, what has happened? Inside. Minister Edelman, what has happened? What is the commotion about? Oh, Lord, my Lord, it was her. Lord, punish her. Oh, Lord, punish her. In this small town of Boswell, nestled near the Appalachians, it is peace and quiet. People of this neighborhood are like a big family. Everyone knows everyone. And everyone is kind and caring towards each other. Most of the people here attend the town church every Wednesday evening for the weekly sermons. But on this evening, when the church was opened, Minister Edelman and the townsfolk were distraught by what they saw. Who could have done such a wretched thing besides the Millers? They all presumed. Joanna Miller and her son, Owen Miller, they were different from the people of this town. At first, the townspeople tried to open up to them and welcome them to the community. Even Minister Edelman invited them to their church. But the Millers neither spoke to anyone nor tried to get to know anyone. They just wanted to be by themselves. Just as the townspeople did every now and then, they arranged a block party where everyone was welcome. It was a cool, windy evening. The kids were out playing. Everyone was enjoying and conversing with one another. But the minute Joanna arrived, a sense of fear and dread ran through them all. The entire block fell silent as they all watched Joanna. She came dressed in black. There was not a smile, not an expression on her face, as she held a cake in her hands. There was something dark about the Millers. And sure enough, that was the day the horror began in this town.
That night, suddenly, the rain began to pour, ruining the whole location. There was no forecast, no sign, nothing that would indicate it. But something even stranger happened. All the food at the party suddenly became spoiled. How did this happen? Everything is ruined. Do you think it was because of her? And things only got worse from there. The next Wednesday evening, when the town church was unlocked, people were horrified as rats, hundreds of rats, scurried around. The creatures had ruined the furniture, the walls, everything. The holy place had become ruined in filth. Rats! Where did all these rats come from? Everyone leave! The church became infested with rats almost overnight. And not long after, a strange disease spread within the neighborhood. Do you think she has cursed us? Goodness gracious, save us, Lord, save us. And now, after everything that has happened, no one in this town feels safe anymore. Daniel, how did this happen? Tell me who did this to you. Mother, I'm scared. The way she was looking at me, it was like she would take my soul away. That witch. Don't worry, son. Tomorrow we'll go to the minister. Something has to be done. Mrs. Benowitz and her son Daniel went to visit Minister Edelman the very next evening. Things couldn't go on like this, and as a mother, she couldn't accept her son's life in danger. It was her, Minister Edelman. She's gotten her eyes on my son. I warned you people about her, but you didn't listen. Your son befriended that woman's son, didn't he? It's not just your son anymore. This entire town has been hexed. Minister Edelman, my son has been foolish. Isn't there something we can do about her? As of now, Daniel's condition isn't well. The only option for you is to take him far from this town for a while, until he heals. So without much choice, Mrs. Benowitz and Daniel packed their bags and left the very next morning. They traveled to the next town and settled at her sister's place. But it was later that night, Mrs. Benowitz received a call from the police. There's been a fire at your house. What? He told me his mother would burn down our house. What?
After the death of her husband, Joanna and her son, Owen, sold off everything they had in the city and moved to this small town. With the little savings she had, she opened a bakery here, and she and Owen were trying to get by. And at the beginning, things were going fine. Joanna was kind and polite to her neighbors, and customers were starting to come to her bakery. It was one evening, Minister Edelman came to her bakery. "Hello, welcome to the Miller's Bakery." "Hello, I'm Minister Edelman. Welcome to our neighborhood." "Thank you, I'm Joanna." Minister Edelman was polite, and they had some small talk, and Joanna tried to entertain him. "This is my bakery special, apple crumb cake. It's delicious. Do you bake everything here yourself?" "Yes, Mr. Edelman. I'm glad you like it. You should come over more often." "Perhaps I will. You should also come to our church this Wednesday for the weekly sermon." "Oh, Mr. Edelman, I got to know about your church as soon as I moved to this town, but we belong to a different denomination." "Oh, so you're from a different denomination. I see. That's no problem. Everyone is welcome in this town." But Minister Edelman had different thoughts in mind. When he realized Joanna and Owen were from a different denomination and conversion wasn't an option for them, he began to badmouth them. "We have to be careful as to who is moving into our neighborhood, or else the wrath of the Lord will fall on us. Do you all think these outsiders are just like us? No, they're misguided. Their beliefs are corrupted. They have strayed from the path of the Lord. They are worshippers of darkness. And they are here to take over our town, to misguide our children, to deviate us from our faith, to make us like them." And it was ever since. People in town began to stay away from the Millers, avoided Joanna, and mistreated Owen. Joanna could notice the difference she was experiencing at the market, but she couldn't understand what it was about. And then she began to notice a lot of her customers stopped coming to the bakery as well. On the other hand, Owen wasn't doing so bad coping in the new environment. He was doing well in school and even made some new friends. "Hello, Mrs. Benowitz. What do you want?" "Is Daniel here? We were supposed to meet." "Yes." "Who is it, Mom?" "It's that boy. Why is he here? Didn't I tell you to stay away from him? He and his mother are not welcome in our family." "Mom, he goes to my school. He's just like me." "Oh, so he's already begun to brainwash you." Owen had joined the soccer team at school and made friends with Daniel and the boys. And for their finals, Owen was able to help their team win. Wow, Owen, you were amazing out there. Thanks. Look who's flirting with Kelly. I think I'll have to teach that kid a lesson he'll never forget.
That night, Daniel and his friends planned to scare Ethan and set up firecrackers at his place. What's that smell? Mom, there's a fire! Owen, get the hose! Joanna and Owen somehow managed to put the fire out, but they couldn't find any explanation to how it all happened. Until 2 days later, Daniel and his gang confronted Owen. Where are you going? Oh, I was just about to catch up with you guys on the field. That's alright. I don't think you'll be playing with us anymore. Why not? I hope you learned your lesson that night. What? It was you? You started the fire? I thought you were my friend. We're not friends with witches and their sons. What did you call my mom? That day, a fight broke out, and Owen fell off the roadside. Shoot. Come on, we have to get out of here. Fortunately, one of the townsmen who were fishing discovered Owen's body and took him to the hospital. But Owen was in a near-death situation. Owen, how did this happen? Mom, we should move out of this town. Why? When Joanna heard what happened, she was shocked. She immediately went to the police and filed a complaint against the Benowitz. Mrs. Miller, we have investigated. It was an accident. Hear it from the witness yourself. Daniel, tell her. We were riding our bicycles and Owen was riding too fast and he fell. Seeing the police support the Benowitz, Joanna was furious. There was nothing she could do legally. But that day, she decided she would teach these townspeople a lesson. And that evening, at the block party, her cake was her declaration of war. But what happened with all the food that night had nothing to do with her. Perhaps it was some sort of divine intervention. It was Joanna who caused the infestation of rats in the church. And it was due to the negligence of hygiene of the townspeople that they caught the disease. It was only then that the suffering caused them to fear her. And finally, they left her and her son alone. And now, as Mrs. Benowitz and Daniel stared at their home burned down, she was furious. I know it was them, that mother and son. They did it. They'll never get away with this. But it was right then. One of the firemen came forward. Mrs. Benowitz, it couldn't have been them. The entire incident was an accident. The basement boiler had gotten quite old. There was an explosion. What? This can't be. They must have done it somehow. It was due to a mechanical malfunction. Nobody caused it to happen. No, I know that witch. It was her. She did it. First my son, and now, as she couldn't get to my son, she burnt down my home. As Mrs. Benowitz went on and on yelling, Daniel stopped her. No, Mom. They were not the witches. We were the witches. They were helpless when they came here. They never tried to harm us. We treated them bad for being different. We were jealous of their every goodness and success. Mrs. Miller lost business because of us. Owen almost lost his life because of me. I caused a fire at their house. But it was the Lord who took down our house. And had we not moved out of the house for them, perhaps we would be burning in this house tonight.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.